Hi, I'm Dr. Douglas Hersh. I'm Dean of Educational Programs at Santa Barbara City College. And there are actually a number of us deans, and we all do different things. And so some of the things that I do, for example, I'm the Dean for the School of Media Arts. That's actually 6 different departments. The Dean for Distance Education, which is now over 25% of all the classes here at City College. I'm Dean for the Faculty Resource Center for Educational Applications. I'm involved in grant writing. Last year I wrote over $1 million in grants that we received. This year I was involved in the Title V grant which we received, which is $3 million. I'm involved in multidisciplinary program development, and I'm the liaison to the Instructional Technology Committee, the District Technology Committee, and the Committee on Online Instruction. I'm also the portal or the pipeline leader, which means that I facilitate that committee. You know, for a dean, I have kind of an unusual background. I have a science background originally and got a science scholarship to college. And when I got to Yale, I saw that they had this great triple major program in history of art, comparative literature, and philosophy. And I said, boy, I've got to go for that. So I kind of have a wide range of interests. When I got out of college, I actually was in the film business for 15 years. I was in feature films and in television and in documentaries and in commercials, where I was a cinematographer, then a director and a producer. And so I have a great love for the arts of expression. These days, on the weekend, I'm something of a weekend warrior. I like to sail and hang glide. But I find now that I'm doing a lot of writing for publications like EDUCAUSE and TechEdge. But I think if I had a single greatest interest at this time, it's something that I've done all my life in various phases, and that's inventing. And I've got a number of things in the pipeline, but I just got a decision from an IP attorney that I have one that I'm working on that has a very good chance of getting a U.S. utility patent, so I'm pretty excited about that. You know, I think of my days as snowflakes. No two are alike. As a student, you might think of a dean as somebody involved in policies, procedures, and endless meetings. And actually, there's some truth to that. But it's more for me a very creative job that really calls on different aspects of my being. So in 1 hour, I might be working with architectural design. We're doing a remodel in the DAC lab now, for example. The next meeting, I might be working with a graphic artist. The next meeting, I might be working with a web designer. And it goes on. It's a very creative job that really calls on different aspects of you as a human being. Education is a really interesting field. When you think of it, we call ourselves as humans Homo sapiens, and that means the wise or learning animal. And so if we identify ourselves among all the animals on the planet as the learning animal, that means that education is at the core of what we are as a species. So education is fascinating because it's actually this strange scientific observation of what's going on in here in your head, which we don't know. But we can tell because we know what works and what doesn't work in the field of education. And so I have, I have an undergraduate degree from Yale University. I've got a master's in educational administration, and I've got a doctorate in educational administration. And the work that I did in research has everything to do with how the human mind learns. And obviously, I try very hard to apply that kind of thinking here in my job. As you know, I'm Dean for Distance Education, and I am passionate about that, not only because I think it's the leading edge of education, but even now, it's so convenient for students because it means that their education is at their time and place convenience. And let's face it, right now, everybody needs to work if they can. And so in terms of being able to save money, distance education allows students to go to work. And most of our students work part, and many of them work full-time. So what that means is you can work, which is the income side of the ledger, and then you can go home and do your education at your time and place convenience. And now the expense side of the ledger is, one, you don't need to commute and pay for gas, pay for parking, try to find parking on campus. All of that stuff is out. And in addition, there are so many online open educational resources available, and we try to use so many of those and get away from costly textbooks, costly equipment, costly materials, so many of which are online now. So I think distance education is not only an equally good type of education to classroom-based education, but I think more effectively it helps students save money and do it at their time and place convenience. You know, when many people hear the word soma, they probably think of the drug in Brave New World or maybe a ritual drink in Sanskrit, at least according to my Wikipedia article. But the fact is that SOMA stands for School of Media Arts, which is a really important, fun, and energetic part of the City College. The School of Media Arts comprises 6 different disciplines: graphic design, film production, film studies, journalism, multimedia, and photography. And that's a mouthful. So if you have an interest in any of these fields, consider SOMA, the School of Media Arts. You know, back in the bad old days of the Internet and Web 1.0, it was all about we made websites for you. But now, with Web 2.0, it's all about human presence, human collaboration, and user-centered design, which means that you participate and make the web, as in, for example, WordPress. So we've adapted that concept of Web 2.0 for our distance education so that when students go to an online class in Moodle, they can have a human presence design learning environment, which you can see here, and they get to upload their own voice, they get to see their faculty members with the whites of their eyes, and if they use Skype, they can actually talk, and they can upload videos, all kinds of things. So it becomes more of a multimedia mash, and it's a lot more fun. You know, as of this filming, the state is going through one of the worst economic recessions in history. And it's not just the state, it's the nation. It's not just the nation, it's the world. God knows what's going on, but it ain't good. But what is good is the fact that we at Santa Barbara City College continue to innovate. And what this means is that for you as a student, there are all kinds of fun things you can do. Let me give you an example. If you want to participate in your classes, we have clickers in the classroom now so that you can actually give an answer, much like a game show or a quiz show. And those can be scored or non-scored. So the clickers are a lot of fun. We also are implementing a project called Panopto CourseCast, which is lecture capture. And lecture capture is all about being able to capture what the instructor is doing, not you, but capture what the instructor is doing so that if you were in class, you could go back later at night and look over the lecture. And you could even keyword search it because you want to only see that part, not this part. And so it really helps you because you don't have to be taking notes all the time in class. You can actually listen. All of our classrooms now are media enhanced, so that means that we have a certain level of technology with projection, with multimedia, with the internet, and we just keep going with that. We have so many different resources. We've got flip cameras, we've got all kinds of things that you can check out. So let me tell you, coming to Santa Barbara City College is not just about grinding it down and dealing with books, it's about engaging and using the technology. Last night I heard somebody call City College Silly College, and that couldn't be further from the truth. We have such an exciting campus and such a really great place to learn here because we care about your learning. We don't care about our own research and our own passions. We do that on our own time. What we care about is you as a student, what you're going to get here, how we can keep innovating to make learning interesting, and how to keep you engaged because City College is in fact the best deal in town, and that's why you're here. That's one of the reasons. I mean, you can't beat it in terms of the quality of the education you get for the price that you pay. I'm really glad that you're here. I hope that you achieve your goals, and I want you to know that I'm available to you anytime. Thank you.